I was always told as you're growing up, if you want to stay here, you need to become in the medical field, become a firefighter, become a teacher. Like those are the good paying jobs. And I remember hearing that. I'm like, oh, I think I want to be a teacher.
Lynn Correa, captain of the Kernville Helitack crew, grew up in the Kern River Valley, and to pay for school, she joined the Forest Service as a seasonal firefighter. At 18, Correa was given a crash course on the intensity of wildland firefighting.
I specifically remember being on a fire that we had in Bodfish. It was called the Deer Fire, and they were losing structures. And it was my first exposure to all this stuff going on, and my eyes were like, oh my goodness, like what did I get myself into?
Facing the inferno, Correa persisted and ended up choosing firefighting as her career.
My friend told me about the California Conservation Corps. They actually had a firefighter training coming up. It was 2 weeks. It was super hard, but it was the most rewarding thing I had ever done, and I was hooked.
Alexandria Bender is a firefighter for the U.S. Forest Service, where she started as an apprentice.
When I got the apprenticeship, I was able to work on the helicopter module.
The module, which is a term used to define teams within the Forest Service, was Kernville Helitack, an elite and specialized crew of firefighters trained to perform initial attacks. They start their day with physical training.
You'll be pushed to the limits.
The engines, they have their engine. The hotshot crews, they have their buggies. We have a helicopter. That's what takes us to the fire.
The helicopter arrives in May, the beginning of the fire season.
Yeah, we're ready.
The crew has to be ready at all times. 3 beeps on the radio signify a potential dispatch.
Every time we get the 3 beeps, I get butterflies in my stomach still to this day.
Speed is key.
When we get the call, we have to be out to the helicopter in under 5 minutes.
I don't really get nervous anymore. I have a job to do.
We are usually the first ones on scene because we're in the aircraft and we can get there quicker. We land, we very quickly take everything off the helicopter.
We put a bucket on the helicopter.
The bucket is a 210-gallon capacity apparatus set up by the firefighters and used to drop water on the fire.
When we open up doors and start deploying our gear and the bucket, it's about 2 minutes.
The crew is close-knit and moves as a unit.
They become your family, they become your team.
And you rely on everyone, and they rely on you. I just like it. I think it's fun.
Normally, the firefighters would be cutting line when the helicopter was dropping water, but during this initial attack drill, they watched as the pilot used the bucket. Kernville Helitack can be traced back to the 1970s, and pictures of various crews over the years adorn the halls. These past few years, this team has looked different.
Half my module is women, which is kind of out of the norm.
5 of 11 members of Helitack this year are women. The U.S. Forest Service currently employs roughly 10,000 firefighters nationwide, and only 13% of them are women.
Definitely had a couple of mixed experiences, like being a woman in a male-dominated field. You have to be confident in yourself, because if you're not confident in yourself, other people can see it and know that this is my place, this is where I'm at.
1 in 3 male firefighters are estimated to be in a supervisor position. For women, that number is just 1 in 8.
I had really good mentorship and really good leadership throughout my career of people that believed in me, pushed me, and challenged me in becoming a better version of myself.
Now a captain on an elite team, Correa hopes to help and inspire others like her mentors did for her, speaking with her community about her job.
They don't really know what we do, and they go, oh, that just looks too intense, or that looks too hard. But then they see people like me, and they're like, you do fire? I'm like, yeah, I do fire. I fight fire. I work on the helicopter.
Don't think that it's unattainable. Don't think that it's something that's out of your reach. This job, it is challenging, but it's super rewarding.
Bender remembering advice she received from a female firefighter during her first season.
She said what separates a good from a great firefighter is character and competency.
Correa and Bender have plenty of both. They've been able to not only succeed, but excel as firefighters.
At the end of the day, like you feel like you accomplished something.
I do feel like I have a sense of purpose. While I'm helping people, I can help nature too at the same time.
They serve as examples of the literal and figurative heights female firefighters can achieve in the Forest Service.
People usually say firemen. They don't say firefighter. And so I think changing the vernacular and having the representation out there like myself, and letting young girls know that it's not a fireman, it's a firefighter.
Corcoran O'Leary, 23 ABC News. Providing cleaner water to roughly 1,000 residents of Weldon is part of the stated goal of the new Weldon Regional Water District. In Weldon, I'm Corey O'Leary, your neighborhood reporter. And I'm standing in front of a construction site for a new water well, the first of several planned construction projects for the new water district.
I'd say I hope it makes for more cohesion.
That's Madison Lundberg, a Weldon resident who's currently a customer of Tradewinds Water Association, which has a history of high uranium levels in their water.
Pretty much mostly just for cooking for the dogs. I still don't drink it.
There are currently 5 small water companies that provide water to roughly 1,000 residents in Weldon. Some of the wells operated by these entities have had issues with toxic substances like uranium, nitrate, and arsenic.
There's people with kids, there's people with animals. Like every day they have to be like, okay, don't drink the tap water. Okay, we gotta go buy new water bottles and that for that.
The formation of the Regional Water District is underway, and this includes plans to consolidate these 5 companies into a single public entity.
Bringing folks together, it creates sustainability because there's a strength in numbers argument as you look long term.
That's Chad Fisher, Senior Sanitary Engineer for the Water Board. He says the consolidation of these 5 companies will lead to greater efficiency.
And because it's a single entity, there's often monetary savings as well.
The plans for the water district include the building of new infrastructure, the first project of which is the well off of the 178 currently being constructed. It is expected to be completed by December of this year and will provide 450 acre-feet of water per year. The plan includes connecting the 5 water systems with water mains, replacing aging infrastructure, building 2 new wells, and 2 750,000-gallon reservoirs to store water. Outside of the well currently under construction, funding hasn't been secured for these other projects.
It is being created. They're electing board members. They'll end up, adopting bylaws and rate structures, etc., right?
Once the Weldon Regional Water District has a full board, we'll be able to apply for funding from the State Water Resources Control Board.
It opens doors for future funding.
Once the new wells are complete, there are plans to abandon the wells that have had issues with contaminants.
I think it'd be a good positive. More people around here would probably be like, oh yay, we've got updated systems. We can actually I'm not as wary about the water up here anymore.
Coffee and dog treats might not strike you as important medical tools, but for Clinica Sierra Vista's street medicine program, these items can be used to help build trust with an individual. In Wolford Heights, I'm Corey O'Leary, your neighborhood reporter.
Coffee, here's a stick. Medically speaking, a lot of these people have been done wrong. They don't have a trust for medical fields, period.
That's Scott Dopp, who works on Clinica Sierra Vista's street medicine team, which has recently been brought to the Kern River Valley by Alana Costello.
Bringing care to them just helps build trust again with the healthcare establishment, which I think is important. Is there anything you feel like you need today?
Every Wednesday, Costello goes out with a team including herself, a medical assistant, a caseworker who can connect people with housing resources, and Dobbs, who does everything.
Drives us, he knows the area, he's got really good rapport with people.
Always broken.
The team drives around the valley offering care to unhoused individuals.
So a lot of people are very hesitant at first, you walk up to them with a badge and a clipboard. How are you doing today? My name's Alana. The best approach is just being friendly. We also have got some dog treats and a hygiene kit.
These are hip with every dog.
Nice, baby. You are so cute. How old is he? He looks so young.
Yeah, he's like 3.
Oh.
After making their first impression, they ask for some information
Okay, I can text it to you.
and let them know they'll be around again on Wednesdays. During the outing, a patient they met a few weeks earlier called them seeking supplies to treat their partner's wounds, as well as Suboxone, a medication that is used to help people with opioid dependence transition from a life of addiction.
Yeah. Do you want me to send it to the Mount Mesa pharmacy because you're staying over here?
Yeah.
They give out items like drug testing kits, wound care supplies, safe injection kits, Narcan, and hygiene kits.
Deodorant, toothbrushes, combs, snacks.
Dobbs told me the Kern River Valley presents the street medicine team with unique challenges.
Put in a lot of miles just to find the people we find here.
Street medicine, anybody in there?
It's been difficult, gaining trust up here. But we've made a foothold.
Thank you for my pins. I'm going to cherish them.
I know, we got your pens here.
The team's commitment and consistency helps build that trust.
I see us building a relationship with people. People are starting to trust us more and are starting to expect us every week. It's good to see you. Yeah. Tell Dougie we said hi.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course.
In Wolford Heights, I'm Corey O'Leary, your neighborhood reporter. It was on April 19th, 1863 that the Keysville Massacre occurred. 35 Tabatablable men were murdered. Now, 161 years later, current members of the Tabatablable tribe came here to remember and honor those who lost their lives. The remembrance took place at the 3 crosses in Wofford Heights that were placed near the site of the massacre.
Halaki, we're still here. In Halaki, we live in balance with our neighbors.
Several Tabatablable tribe members and a couple of non-tribal residents came early on the 19th.
It's important to tell our story. It's part of genocide and upon indigenous peoples.
Donna Miranda Begay, former chairwoman of the Tabatablable tribe, is the great-granddaughter of Esteban Miranda, who was around 12 when the massacre occurred in 1863. His father, his grandfather, and 2 of his uncles were killed.
Imagine that morning when it happened. The next morning, the women, the sisters, the grandmas, they're all scared because our people were just killed for no reason.
Samantha Riding Red Horse, another direct descendant of Esteban Miranda and a historian for the Tabatablable tribe, said much of the culture and the history of the Tabatalables were lost after the massacre.
That's not much, some people say, but it is because they take away our people who can read the sky, read the weather, read the stars.
After the massacre, many surviving Tabatalables left the Kern River Valley.
Which meant they took our culture, our language, our way of being back then in these different directions and had to assimilate into other cultures.
For Miranda Begay, April 19th is not simply a day to feel sorrow.
We need to slow down and say, let's pay tribute to the people of the past. But also, maybe go out on a hike, go out there and view the territories here. Yeah.
She took me to a Tabatalable cultural site where evidence of her ancestors still exists today.
Here, I have this feeling of the people of the past. They were pretty tough, pretty resilient people, and we're here today because of that.
After the massacre, her great-grandfather left to live on the Tejon Reservation, where it was safer, but he returned.
He never forgot his language, the Pacaanil dialect.
Esteban Miranda became the chief of the Tabatalables, and through him and others, language and culture was preserved.
The way that we harvest things, the way that we sing, the way that we present ourselves.
The current-day Miranda Rancheria, which was land given to Miranda Begay's ancestors as part of the U.S. Dawes Act, is a home for several of Esteban Miranda's direct descendants.
My grandmother and I, we used to harvest elderberry.
Since their language is preserved, she uses it to write new songs and prayers.
Tuwu, Pungatau, Tuwu, thank you, the power above, thank you.
Using the oral histories that have been passed down from tribal members, as well as performing research, Tabatalable members have been able to revive cultural practices and create new ones.
We're bringing it back little by little. We're bringing it back.
1,200 acres of land was returned to the tribe last year in Weldon, and Riding Red Horse has been bringing back art forms like basket weaving.
Away.
At the remembrance, the continuation of a cultural practice that has been revived.
It's documented in an archaeologist's book. They did a wash face ceremony up in Onyx. It was in honor of him. So that was in 1919, and now we're bringing it back.
Everyone cleansed their faces using spring water from the Miranda Rancheria.
We are with you, ancestors. We are here and we're moving forward. And we're cleansing ourselves of the wrongdoing. We're cleansing ourselves that you had to go through that. And we are cleaning our face here to remember that life in front of us will keep going. We'll keep being resilient and we won't stop. Tuwu, tutudal, tuwu, pungatau, tuwu.